Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll look at a little bit about our efforts to strengthen Ames neighborhoods. My guest today is Zach Bauer with the Planning and Housing Department, who specializes in strengthening neighborhoods. Zach, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here, Susan.
Well, I understand that your position is specifically targeted at neighborhood connection development coordination. Tell me a little bit about your job.
Yeah, my position is kind of unique in the fact that I work with neighborhoods specifically, but I kind of float between the different departments within the city. So it's kind of what I make of the position. Different department heads contact me if they have outreach efforts that they want to work on with neighborhoods. Then I work on coordinating that, whether it's a meeting, whether it's sending out newsletters about traffic studies that they're going to be doing. So it's kind of broad in what I do, so I focus on a lot of different areas.
Obviously, the catchphrase these days is community engagement. I see a lot of your position is that outreach effort, connecting the neighborhoods and residents with local government. But you're also an Iowa State student?
That's right.
And what are you studying?
I'm a senior this year at Iowa State in political science, minoring in journalism and mass communication, with the intent to go on to graduate school next year for public administration. So my role with the city has really embraced what I want to do in the future. It's really given me good experience working within the different departments in the city, just to kind of get a feel of what I could be doing in the future.
Great. One of the programs that you're really involved in has been a program that's outreach to renters in the community. I think as a student that gives you the unique perspective on what renters and what tenants or what landlords, the landlord-tenant relationship. Talk a little bit about the Rent Smart Ames program.
So Rent Smart Ames has been in the works for probably about a year now. It originally started at the joint city council meeting with the government of the student body, which is held yearly. And in the 2014 meeting, the students primarily had concerns with landlord-tenant relationships. And so through that, President Leith created the Student Experience Enhancement Council is what it's called. And then that encompasses different departments from the university and the city. And through those dialogues and conversations, the idea was flown to create a rental program that acts as an educational resource for both landlords and tenants, but also provides the available rental housing in the city. And so I took that idea when I started my internship with the city to kind of spearhead that project, and then it's just kind of escalated from there, so it's been a good experience.
Yeah, obviously we have increasing student enrollment, and a lot of students are living off campus these days, more so than ever in the past. That can be a great experience for a student to really explore Ames in a different way, but also can lead to some issues when it comes to renting.
Yeah, we found that a lot of students didn't necessarily know what their rights and responsibilities are when they're renting, and new landlords also don't know that too. So the Rent Smart Ames program kind of alleviates the burden of that lack of knowledge, just to inform people about what their rights and responsibilities are, what a lease should entail, what rental housing is available in the city of Ames. So it's a broad program in that it helps both landlords and tenants with the renting process.
I know a lot of, well, not a lot, I know there are some students that maybe will sign a lease without reading it. My first experience with the lease, I didn't realize I was responsible for mowing the lawn. As we get into the colder weather, some students don't realize they may be responsible for shoveling.
Yeah, so the program really gets at that, just to inform students and landlords that they should read their lease before they sign it. That is the major issue, is that problems do arise during a lease, and the tenant doesn't know that they're liable for something, the landlord doesn't know they're liable for something. So the program is just very proactive in that sense, that tenants should read their lease before they sign it, landlords, what they can include in a lease, those types of things.
Yeah, and sometimes I think students think, oh, it's the same company, or it's just like my other lease, and don't really look at it. Again, your responsibilities may be different. The utilities you're responsible may be different. Your parking situation may be different. Are you seeing a trend or different issues that come up with leases?
It's primarily the same issues. A lot of it has to deal with security deposits, what can be charged. There are parking issues that people don't necessarily know, that some of them have to pay for parking, some of them don't. A lot of it is dealing with move-out procedures, what they can be charged for, what they can't be charged for. So there's really no defined problems. There's common ones. But as you said, the leases vary depending on who you're going through, so that's why it's important to read your lease thoroughly.
Well, and it's not just a tenant issue. For landlords, sometimes they're dealing with damage or people that are not on the lease that are seeming to be living in the unit. So, yeah, there's a lot of issues from both sides.
Yeah, the program also explains, so like you said, occupancy restrictions, those types of things, what tenants are liable for, so they can't destroy the apartment and assume that the landlord is going to cover the costs for that they are liable for it. So, like I said before, it's an all-encompassing program to educate both landlords and tenants.
I think in Ames, one of the issues we deal with a lot in the summer is sublets. And again, another area of education. Students, when you sublease an apartment, may not realize what responsibility they're taking on.
Yeah, most people don't realize there is a separate lease for subleasing. And the program does a good job in that students can list their subleases on the Rent Smart Ames website for free. Landlords can list their properties on the website for free. So it is a good resource in that sense, that it explains what a sublease, how they differ from an actual lease in that sense.
Now in Ames, we have a very familiar pattern of an August 1st move-in, July 31st disconnect. Leads to a week of a lot of furniture being left behind, a lot of waiting at the utility billing counter. Does Rent Smart Ames sort of talk about how to avoid some of those pitfalls?
Yeah, with regards to utilities, they can do that through the Rent Smart Ames portal. They can do that online, so that helps alleviate the burden with that. It also lists the Ames codes that are relevant to that, so leaving trash on the sidewalks, those types of things.
Yeah, the whole furniture and the couch. When you leave your couch on the yard, it doesn't just disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great. And obviously, that's been sort of an area where people have needed some assistance, and Rent Smart Ames seems to really fill that hole for knowledge base.
Yeah, it's a great educational tool to inform everyone about their rights and responsibilities when they're renting, to be proactive in preventing any issues that may arise.
Well, I know another part of your position here at the City of Ames is really neighborhood outreach, and a lot of departments are involved in that in various ways. But one of the really popular programs that has been going on for a couple of years is the Street and Greet Block Party Trailer. Now we're kind of done for the season with our very, very cold weather, but it won't be too long and that program will be up and running again.
Yeah, this year has been very successful for the Block Party Trailer. Since the beginning of May, we've only had about 3 weekends rather, that the trailer wasn't rented. So it's in high demand for the neighborhoods, and they really enjoy it. March 15th of 2015 is when the new reservations begin coming in for the Block Party Trailer. And then this year we're trying something different, in which the reservations can be made online by going to cityofames.org, going under Living, and then going to the Strong Neighborhoods page. So they can make the reservations online to sort of alleviate the burden of having to call the main office to get the initial application going.
So when I've seen the Block Party Trailer sort of in use, I hear comments again and again, what did that cost to rent that? And how do I rent that? Talk a little bit about how we don't rent the Block Party Trailer.
Yeah, the Block Party Trailer is free to rent for neighborhoods. It's just, it has to be used for a neighborhood block party purpose. It can't be used for a private event. So it is free in that sense. All the items were donated in the Block Party Trailer. So it's very easily accessible to neighborhoods to use.
So it's more like a checkout program than a rental program.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, there's so many things in that trailer. In addition to tables and chairs, there's a loudspeaker or a sound system, there's toys. There's really a lot in there.
Yeah. Besides the tables and chairs, there's games, there's basketballs, there's soccer balls, there's the beanbag toss, the karaoke machine. Pretty much everything you can think of that you would want to have at a block party.
Hula hoops.
Yeah, hula hoops too.
And I get a sense that sometimes people add things to the Block Party Trailer.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when I go out there to clean it after the block party. Some things are there, some things are missing. So
I've seen chalk in there, which I didn't think was in there initially. So that's kind of a nice little gift to leave behind for the next neighborhood that might have children. You mentioned that it's not for private parties. I know that there's been inquiries, can I use it for my graduation party, a wedding? That's not really the purpose.
Yeah, it's primarily to strengthen neighborhoods, so through neighborhood block parties.
So we talked about strengthening neighborhoods. Many neighborhoods and Ames have neighborhood associations. How do you start a neighborhood association?
It's pretty easy to start. You can just call the Planning and Housing Department at the City of Ames, and then they'll direct you to the neighborhood liaison. You just have to fill out a simple form and set your boundaries, and you're set then.
Do you have to have a neighborhood association to check out the block party trailer?
No, you do not. It's just pretty much the broad guideline is just has to be for neighborhood purposes to strengthen neighborhoods.
Wow, a lot going on during the summer months. How do you stay busy during the colder months?
Stay busy with the Rent Smart Ames program. We have the neighborhood quarterly newsletter that we're going to be putting out here pretty soon. Neighborhoods can submit articles to that. City staff can submit articles to that. So that keeps us pretty busy. We're just wrapping up the completion of a neighborhood feedback survey to kind of gauge neighborhoods about the programs that the city provides, what they like, what they don't necessarily like, how we can improve those types of things. So there's always something to do.
Well, and actually that reminds me, we just finished the Neighborhood Summit not that long ago, which we try to do annually, which is that opportunity for neighborhood members, also neighborhood association officers and whomever, to come and really just have a discussion with the city council.
Yeah, we had great turnout this year for the summit. A lot of issues were discussed. A lot of issues were related to different departments to address. So I think it was a really good environment to kind of alleviate some of the issues that neighborhoods brought to the table.
Great. Well, Zach, I know you're busy, and you've got school, you've got work, you got neighborhoods.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Good. Well, thank you for stopping by. So much information about neighborhood associations. If you'd like more information about renting the block party trailer, or I should say checking it out, you want to go to our website at cityofames.org, look under the Living tab, and look for Strong Neighborhoods. Also, if you still have yard waste, we still have one more opportunity for yard waste free days. That is Saturday, December 6th will be the final yard waste free day of the season. And finally, please remember that City Hall and all city offices will be closed the Thursday and Friday of November 27th and 28th for Thanksgiving. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.